As the sun sets on the horizon and the eerie glow of the moon casts shadows over abandoned streets, the air becomes thick with a feeling of unease. You can't help but wonder what lurks in the shadows, what twisted tales of terror lie waiting to be told. Across the vast expanse of the United States, there are countless urban legends that have seeped into the collective subconscious. From haunted highways to sinister hitchhikers, each legend is steeped in darkness and drenched in fear. These stories have been passed down through generations, growing in myth and legend with each telling. Are they simply tall tales designed to frighten, or are they something more? Only those brave enough to delve into the darkness will discover the truth behind these urban legends. So hold on to your spine and brace yourself for a sinister journey into the unknown as we continue part 3 of 50 urban legends from the United States. Lurking in the forests and swamps of Massachusetts are small, impish creatures that stand around 2 to 3 feet tall and have grey skin. Known as Pukwudgies, these legendary creatures have magical abilities such as shape-shifting and conjuring fire. Their origin story goes that the Wampanoag people were in the middle of a war with their enemies, the Narragansett tribe. To help them in their fight, they summoned the magical powers of the spirits and inadvertently spawned Pukwudgies into existence. Unfortunately, the slimy green-skinned terrors were not entities easily controlled by any humans, and proceeded to indiscriminately unleash their malevolent plans on both tribes, luring people off cliffs and trapping them in the sandy, swampy regions of Massachusetts. These creatures are said to have remained in the area and therefore have become an enduring part of the state's folklore and urban legend. The Dogman legend has its roots in Wexford County, Michigan, first reported in 1887 when 2 lumberjacks saw a creature whom they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. In 1961, a night watchman was patrolling a manufacturing plant in Big Rapids, Michigan, where he saw a peculiar figure. At first, he thought it was a person until he saw the dog-like features. He then took this picture of the horrific beast. In 1987, the legend of the Michigan Dogman gained popularity when disc jockey Steve Cook at WTCM-FM recorded a song about the creature and its reported sightings as an April Fool's Day joke. After playing the song, Cook received calls from listeners who said they had encountered a similar creature. In the preceding weeks, it was the most requested song on the station. Since then, countless sightings of the Dogman have been reported in and around Wexford County. Some claim that the creature is a genetic hybrid created by military experimentation, while others believe that it's a malevolent spirit that haunts the woods. Regardless of its origins, the legend of the Dogman is a haunting reminder of the power of the unknown and the mysteries that lie beyond the limits of human understanding. The Wendigo is a terrifying urban legend originating from Native American folklore in Minnesota. It is said to be a supernatural creature known for its insatiable hunger for human flesh. The myth of the Wendigo is believed to have been created as a warning against selfish behavior and the consequences that could be unleashed on an individual's soul. According to the legend, the first Wendigo was a human who was driven to madness by hunger during a harsh Minnesota winter. Despite having other sources of food available, the man succumbed to his greed and resorted to cannibalism, resulting in his transformation into the monster. From that moment on, anyone who gave in to temptation to eat human flesh was said to be at risk of becoming a Wendigo. The creature is described as having the body of a human, but with antlers, a twisted, gnarly face, and a relentless thirst for human blood. The legend has been passed down for generations, becoming a staple of Minnesota folklore that instills fear in both locals and visitors. This is one of the oldest legendary monsters, dating back to the folklore of Native Americans who hunted these 15-foot-tall shape-shifting creatures even into the early 20th century. One of Mississippi's most bizarre urban legends is one of disease. A condition known as Mercritis supposedly infected the population of a rural town of Mississippi and subsequently spread throughout the rest of the state in the 1950s. With exact origins unknown, some believe it was brought by European immigrants. Others believe the disease originated in men who had ingested lead, commonly from consuming large amounts of certain types of paint. The infection caused them to emit a chemical odor that transformed women into homicidal maniacs. Armed with guns and kitchen knives, the wild women chased the men through the town, destroying everything in their wake. No one knows for certain how many men were killed in this outbreak of hormonal rage because the government and the medical community conspired to cover up the strange disease for which they had no explanation. This morbid condition typically leads its victims down a road of trouble into a life of alienation interspersed with moments of great violence. Mercritis is said to affect less than 1 in 10 million of the general population. It strikes males of any age and is only contracted from the oral consumption of lead. One of the reasons Mercritis is so rare is that paint consumption leads to massive organ failure, and many who may have a grim chance of developing the rare disease die before it's able to manifest. In the city of Wildwood, there's a series of trails that cover a long-gone road that's still recognized as one of the most haunted roads in America, Zombie Road, formerly known as Lawler Ford Road or the Al Foster Trail. It's located near the intersection of Highway 109 and Old State Road and is the site of one of the largest Native American burial grounds in the country. Legends that have been passed around for years tell of spectral American Indians and Confederate rebels, in addition to packs of child ghosts and the tortured souls of working men killed in industrial accidents. It has quite a reputation as a place where shadowy figures and other non-human entities have long been reported. Once used by the army during the Civil War, Zombie Road is a notoriously strange place. According to folklore, the trail is said to be occupied by the spirits of indigenous people, Confederate soldiers, industrial workers, and children. A documentary that chronicles the haunted trail and anecdotes from locals titled Children of the Grave was released in 2007, with director Christopher Booth showcasing still images of shadows captured while on the trail. Today, dark shadows follow you here, seen only out of the corner of your eye. Montana's rich history easily lends itself to the type of folklore that humans have participated in since the beginning of time, like phantom hitchhikers or ghosts that haunt the roadways. While some seek to hitch a ride with the living, others drift through the thin veil between worlds to appear briefly on the side of the road and offer unsuspecting drivers a glimpse of what they suffered in their final moments. Legend tells of a traumatic haunting between Fort Benton and Great Falls, with multiple accounts compounding into what is known as the Phantom Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake. Apparently, it's a common occurrence for motorists to see a Native American man walking along the side of the road. As the car passes by, he is suddenly rolling over the vehicle's hood with a loud thump, much to the driver's shock and horror. The most common thread in all these stories is that when the driver exits their vehicle to check on the man and the car, there is no body to be found or damage to the car. There's even an account of a driver glancing back down the road after looking for the man, only to see him walking in the distance as if nothing ever happened. Situated right in the heart of Middle America, Nebraska has collected some fascinating stories from various sources over the years. One of the most recent urban legends is that of mutant radioactive hornets. Following the Fukushima nuclear disaster, plenty of urban legends popped up regarding radiation-related horrors reaching the mainland of the United States. In 2013, a rumor arose that giant Asian wasps had made their way to central Nebraska. As legend goes, the radioactive hornets had been exposed to radiation and grew 4 times their normal size. They were said to be extremely aggressive and to have venom 2,000 times stronger than that of their non-mutated cousins. Although the Asian hornet is extremely large and produces venom strong enough to kill a human after repeated stings, there is no evidence that hornets gain these attributes from radiation exposure. Moreover, no Asian hornet has ever been spotted in Nebraska, and it's unclear whether any hornet has ever killed anyone in the entire state. Just north of Reno, and not far from the state border, you'll find one of Nevada's largest natural lakes that has a truly chilling history. The Spiteful Mermaid of Pyramid Lake is considered to be one of the most bizarre. Many believe that the negative energy that haunts Pyramid Lake is simply from that of a broken-hearted mermaid, scorned. Locals say that a mermaid married one of the members of the Paiute tribe, only to have the marriage disapproved, leaving her banished. The anguished mermaid promised revenge, not only to any of the tribe members that came near the shores of Pyramid Lake, but she also cursed the lake. which in turn brought settlers and sparked a devastatingly bloody war. Today, the lake has continued the dreaded curse by drowning locals and supposedly spitting them out as far as Lake Tahoe. Myth engulfs both Archer's Pond and the forest that surrounds it, while stories are varied and range from plague deaths to misguided teenage love. One of the most pervasive is the story of Polly. Polly lived in the woods with her husband, where they struggled to survive, both from the elements and their crushing poverty. Polly longed to buy a new pair of shoes to protect her feet from the snow, ice, and rocky terrain. Her husband refused, insisting they barely had funds to keep the couple alive. Despite his protests, Polly bought a cheap pair of shoes and upon being discovered was brutally decapitated by her husband. Overcome by grief, the husband hung himself exactly 1 week after having taken an axe to his wife's neck. The legend holds that the ghosts of both Polly and her murderous husband roam the woods around Archer's Pond, never finding eternal rest. Under one of the bridges crossing Clinton Brook, also known as Dead Man's Curve, you can find one of the road's most famous haunts. Rumour has it, if you throw a quarter into the water below, then take a few steps back, the quarter will be thrown back by the ghost of a boy who drowned while swimming. In some stories, the ghost shoves the living visitor into the water if they peek too far over the side of the bridge in order to save them from being run over as he was in life. That concludes part 3 of this American Urban Legend series. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.